Guys, on guys, Gabriel Jesus had something to say on the 24th of August this year, and it was really very inspirational, and very many Arsenal players, fans went ahead to flock his comment section. They really had the following to say. What did Gabriel Jesus have to say? Jesus came up and said, "It's been 7 months of pain, uncertainty, and anxiety. Today I finally feel light, like a child playing football again. God is great." That's what he said. And these are 7 weeks back. And that video was attached to that post by Gabriel Jesus to obviously show us his progress in the training sessions that he was really having. And we thought that he would obviously get into the first team training as up after really recovering from that knee injury. And we waited him, and we never saw photos of Gabriel Jesus training with the team of Arsenal. Then, after the 24th, the club of Arsenal went ahead to obviously put out this video, and they attached, or they really went ahead to tag Gabriel Jesus, and they said, "Stepping up recovery at Soboha, Reality Training Center. Great to see you back out there, Gabi." That's what we got from Arsenal. And they also attached that video. They also attached a video of Gabriel Jesus training hard at the Emirates. And when this really came up, we thought that maybe September and October could be the months for the return of this man known as Gabriel Jesus. But that wasn't the case. I tell you what, it wasn't the case, and it never really went ahead to obviously surface in any way like that. As till now, Gabriel Jesus hasn't obviously gone ahead to obviously show up. You understand? Gabriel Jesus is nowhere to be seen in any of these particular fixtures in here onto this particular YouTube channel. And we've been following up onto this lad known as Gabriel Jesus for some long time. And you know what? It has always gone ahead to be. You understand? So Gabriel Jesus is nowhere near return as far as the content is really concerned, because since then we haven't gone ahead obviously have a look at him. You understand? And what we're talking about, we are talking about Gabriel Jesus. Now, on the I think on the 4th of October, Gabriel Jesus went ahead to obviously put the following on X, and it read that that is Gabriel Jesus, and that's what he posted on Instagram. And it was like, Gabriel Jesus is back on the grass as he continues to step up his recovery from the knee injury picked up last season, returning very soon. Now, the return of Gabriel Jesus is one of the things that people have been waiting for till now. And we know why his return is really important to the club of Arsenal. Those some Arsenal fans are like, we no longer need him. But if you're really having Jokeres at the club of Arsenal, and Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus are all injured, that means you are not giving him proper competition. We need to see competition amongst Gabriel Jesus, Jokeres, and Kai Havertz, as we are seeing it with Noni Madueke, Max Dohman and Bukayo Saka, Ebelechi Eze, Martinelli, and Trossard, as we see them compete for that particular position in there. So the return of Gabriel Jesus is really very important to the club of Arsenal. But here we come with a big story of his exit, as Arsenal are really looking forward to seeing him leave the club of Arsenal, as they believe he has not gone ahead to live up to the expectations as a club of Arsenal. So Gabriel Jesus signed Arsenal in the summer of 2022 from Man City for £45 million plus £5 million of add-ons. You understand? That's what Arsenal went ahead to sign him for from Man City. But injuries have gone ahead to obviously limit his playing time at the club of Arsenal. And this is Team Talk getting us a story about Gabriel Jesus, as Arsenal would accept an offer of around £30 million for Gabriel Jesus. Everton are a possible destination for the Brazilian forward in January, as they look to add goals to their squad. Arsenal want £30 million for the striker. They paid £45 million for and are willing to make a loss of £15 million. Now, I told you last season, I'm talking about when it was starting, 2024, 2025. What did I say? I said that Gabriel Jesus, Tomiyasu have only last season. If they can't keep fit, then Arsenal will look to obviously move them on. And for Tomiyasu, you saw what happened. Arsenal was fed up of him and they terminated his contract at the club of Arsenal. For Gabriel Jesus, because they know he really has some good value in him and they can really make some good money from him, that's why they're obviously getting him and really putting him in shape to see to it that by the time he returns, he doesn't really get a setback of an injury as a player they signed from Man City. And if you're an Arsenal fan and you are really agitated by Gabriel Jesus, then you are not looking at the big picture. I've always told you this story, who changed the mentality for the players at Arsenal. By the time Gabriel Jesus came in through at Arsenal in 2022, Arsenal had obviously gone ahead to do a plan of only fighting hard to complete in the top 4 positions of the league. You understand? So he is the man that changed the mentality and told the players that for me, I'm not here to compete for the top 4. I'm here to compete for the trophies. And totally everything went ahead to change. You understand? Totally everything went ahead to change. And when everything went ahead to change, I tell you what, Gabriel Jesus went ahead to obviously see Arsenal go head-to-head with Man City ever since the season of 2022-2023. And that is courtesy of the player known as Gabriel Jesus in there for you. So, Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal want to see to it that they are selling him £30 million. Everton, a possible destination for the Brazilian forward in January. Now, I don't think that Gabriel Jesus will accept to go ahead and really play at Everton, because the World Cup is really lingering and he wants to be at the World Cup. I think he will look out for a much more better club like Aston Villa and clubs that are really playing on Europe. And he might look out for teams outside the Premier League that will obviously see him play in the Champions League and obviously thrive. As I tell you, Arsenal never included him into the squad of the Champions League and people were like, he's dumped. And I told you the reason was simple. Jesus was not fully fit. And there was no assurance that even if he returns, he could obviously be fit. Yet Max Dorman could obviously keep fit throughout the season, and Arsenal really looking forward to field him in his first Champions League game very, very soon. So that is all about Gabriel Jesus. But £30 million sell, I think Arsenal would have gone ahead to get some good money out of him. But if I'm Arsenal, I loan the player during the January transfer. When he returns, January transfer window, I loan Gabriel Jesus. That's what I can do if at all I'm Arsenal. I loan Gabriel Jesus, and after loaning Gabriel Jesus, obviously I know where he goes, he will thrive and he will score goals. And when he scores goals, that means the club of Arsenal will come up with what we call some good money, because Gabriel Jesus is just 28 years of age. You understand? And his contract expires in 2027. That is it. Meaning that he's still at Arsenal, and they can really sell him when he's left with just 1 year on his contract as a player known as Gabriel Jesus. So I think Arsenal can really take that risk. But it might look out to be that the board wants him out as up because they believe that maybe Kai Havertz can keep far much more fit than this lad. You understand? So that's all about Gabriel Jesus for you. Arsenal want him out, and £30 million is the price they've gone ahead to obviously set in there. So from Gabriel Jesus, let's talk about Michail Antonio, who really went ahead of a car accident. His contract was not renewed at West Ham, and is really working hard to get back to his feet and find a team where he is obviously going to be represented to the fullest. Michail Antonio has been training with Brentford in the recent weeks. He was released by West Ham in June as he continued rehabilitation from an injury sustained in a car crash. He's not expected to be offered a contract at Brentford. Now, I think if he's in fine form and fine shape and he's really totally recovered, there might be a chance. And that's why they're saying he's not expected to be offered a contract. If you've been falling out on Michail Antonio at West Ham, I think you saw exactly how he could really bully defenders in the Premier League. And the style of play of Brentford, I think, best suits him as a player. And when you look at West Ham, last season, 14 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. 2023, 2024, 26 games played, 6 goals and 2 assists. 2022, 2023, 33 games played, 5 goals and 3 assists. 2021, 2022, 36 games played, 10 goals, 8 assists. This has been his best season so far at West Ham ever since he was turned into a striker. I remember he was playing as a right back, but he's also old, He's 35 years of age. And if I told Michail Antonio, I would be thinking to go to Saudi to obviously get in some money and call it quits, from the Premier League. But wait and see where his next football era will obviously resume, as it's been long since he last went ahead, obviously, kick a ball as a player of this so-called nation or game. So, guys, your thoughts onto Jesus' Arsenal exit hint has been dropped, And what are your thoughts about Michail Antonio and whether you think he'll obviously get a Premier League club or he should look elsewhere because Premier League clubs might not be of total interest into the player? We out. Bye-bye.